Welcome to Integrative Programming and Technologies 2. Today, we are going to discuss a short overview of React using the Node.js package and the installation process. React is a free and open-source JavaScript library developed by Meta Platforms, formerly Facebook, for building dynamic and interactive user interfaces using a component-based approach that enables reusable code for both simple and complex applications, and it is best learned with basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, supported by a strong community that provides tools for state management and routing. React uses Node.js packages mainly for development and tooling, enabling project setup through tools like Create React App, managing dependencies via NPM, Node Package Manager, running the build process using tools such as Babel to convert modern JavaScript, ES6/JSX, into browser-compatible code and Webpack or Vite to bundle files, and providing a local development server to preview the application in the browser. React uses Node.js packages as a builder and toolbox, while React itself is a UI library that runs in the browser. First, you write React code using JSX and modern JavaScript. Next, Node.js tools convert the code into browser-friendly format and combine files into a single bundle. Then the final plain JavaScript, HTML, and CSS files are produced. And finally, the browser runs everything without needing Node.js anymore, allowing React to render the user interface. When running a React application, typing localhost 3000 in the browser attempts to connect to your computer on port 3000, and if you do not run npm start, no local server is active, so the page will not open. But when you run npm start, React uses Node.js to start a development server that listens on localhost 3000, allowing the browser to connect successfully and display the user interface. Localhost 3000 is simply the address of your own computer, localhost, using port 3000, and it only works after running npm start, because this command uses Node.js to launch the React development server in development mode on port 3000, making the application accessible in the browser. npx create React app creates the React project. React needs Node.js and npm to run the development tools. React code uses JSX and modern JavaScript. Browsers cannot directly run React source code. Node.js tools convert React code into browser-friendly files. npm start starts the React development server. The server usually runs on localhost 3000. Typing localhost 3000 alone does not start React. The browser only connects to localhost 3000 if the server is already running. React works in the browser only after using npm start. Node.js is mainly needed during development, and the browser runs the final JavaScript, HTML, and CSS files. Now, let us proceed to the installation of Node.js. React provides CLI, command line interface, tools for developers to fast-track the creation, development, and deployment of React-based web applications. React CLI tools depend on Node.js and must be installed on your system. Command line interface. It is a way of interacting with a computer system by typing text commands instead of clicking buttons or using a graphical user interface, GUI. Go to the Node.js website, https://nodejs.org/and/download. Download the LTS, long-term support, version for Windows. Run the installer, and follow the prompts making sure Add to Path is checked, example path, c:\node.js. Then verify the installation in command prompt, cmd or PowerShell, by typing node-v and npm-v. The steps can be found on the given page. Please create a folder named Node.js on your C drive and install the Node.js installer inside the created folder. Follow the commands shown on the slide, and also watch the next video on how to install Node.js for guidance. Again, make sure that you have installed the node.js package inside your Node.js folder on the C drive. Next, let us create a package intended for Create React App, but I recommend using Visual Studio Code. Visit the link shown on the slide. To create a React package, first navigate to your Node.js folder and type the following command: npx create react app myapp. Create React App, CRA, and Vite are part of the modern JavaScript toolchain. A toolchain is a collection of tools that help you write modern React code using JSX, a syntax that allows HTML-like code inside JavaScript, and ES6, ECMAScript 2015, which introduces features like arrow functions, let/const, classes, and modules, bundle it for the browser, run a development server, and build a production-ready app. CRA and Vite automate all of this setup, so you don't have to manually configure tools like Webpack, Babel, or Rollup. To create a React application using CRA, run npx create react app myapp, where npx runs a package without installing it globally. Create React App is React's official tool for making a new project, and myapp is the name of your project folder, which sets up a ready-to-code React app with all files and dependencies included. In case your version needs to be updated, follow the required version shown in the terminal. For example, run npm install gnpm at 11.12.0, where npm is the node package manager. Install installs a package, g installs it globally, and npm at 11.12.0 specifies the version to install. In case npm start is not working, it may be because you are running npm commands in the wrong folder or your node.js installation path is confusing CMD. To fix this, follow these steps. First, check that node.js is installed in C:\node.js if you change the path. Next, add it to your path if it's not already included by pressing Win+ or sysdm.cpl advanced environment variables. Then under System Variables, select Path Edit New, and add C:\node.js and C:\node.js/npm. To start React, open CMD, type npm start, and it will show a local URL, usually http://localhost 3000, where React is running, which you can open in your browser to confirm it's working. To install React easily, developers commonly use npx create react app. That npx create react app automatically creates the project structure and installs the needed dependencies. React installation requires node.js and npm because they provide the environment and package manager needed for setup. During installation, many tools are included automatically, such as Babel, Webpack, and the development server. Babel is used to convert JSX and modern JavaScript into code that browsers can understand. Webpack is used to bundle different files, such as JavaScript, CSS, and images, into optimized output. The development server is used to run the React application locally on the computer. After installation, the project can be started using npm start. The command npm start launches the development server, usually at localhost 3000. Typing localhost 3000 in the browser will only work if the server is already running. The browser does not start the React app by itself. It only connects to the running server. React installation with npx create React app sets up the project and automatically includes Babel for code conversion, Webpack for bundling, and a development server for running the app locally. React app, the default HTML page is usually public/index.index.html is the main HTML file loaded by the browser. It contains a root element such as div id equals root/div. React uses that root element to display the whole app. The React components are then rendered inside that single page. React is commonly a single-page application, SPA. React changes the content of the page dynamically using components. Navigation between pages like Home, About, and Contact is usually handled by React Router, not by creating many HTML files. Using multiple HTML files goes against the usual React structure. It makes the app harder to manage and less efficient. React is designed to reuse components and update the UI without reloading many separate HTML pages. React JSX is an extension to JavaScript. It allows writing a JavaScript code that looks like an HTML code. JSX enables the developer to create a virtual DOM using XML syntax. It compiles down to pure JavaScript, React.create element function calls. Therefore, it can be used inside any valid JavaScript code. JSX supports expression in pure JavaScript syntax. Expression has to be enclosed inside the curly braces. Expression can contain all variables available in the context where the JSX is defined. React keeps JavaScript in separate .js or .jsx files inside the src folder. Index.js is the first JavaScript file that runs when your React app starts. It is responsible for loading your main component, app.js, and displaying it inside the HTML container. Please observe the default JavaScript code found in index.js and app.js. The following is the basic code in app.js. App.js is the main component of React, which means you can use it to start building functions that will be displayed in index.html. App.js always uses the concept of the DOM, which requires a root element with child elements inside. Otherwise, it will cause an error. React requires one parent element because components must return a single JSX element. This is due to the fact that React converts JSX into JavaScript objects, and each component must return only one object. Having multiple top-level elements would create confusion in the structure. To follow this rule, a React component should wrap its content inside one parent element such as a div, an empty fragment, /, or semantic elements like section or main. This requirement is related to how JSX works similarly to XML/HTML structure and how React builds the DOM tree. DOM tree concept. Browsers represent HTML as a DOM tree. DOM stands for Document Object Model. It is how the browser represents a web page in memory so that JavaScript or other scripts can interact with it. Think of it as a tree-like structure of the HTML document that the browser creates when it loads a page. In a React development environment, such as Create React App or Vite, your code automatically recompiles whenever you save a file like app.js. This feature is called hot reload or fast refresh, and it is one of the main conveniences of working with React. The following example shows an HTML table that is created inside the app.js component. The proper file connection arrangement is index.html, index.js, and app.js when using the default React component setup. Let me explain the contents of index.js. Import React from React. Imports the React library to enable JSX and other React features. Import React DOM from React DOM/client. Imports React DOM, which is used to render your React application into the HTML DOM. Import /index.css imports the global CSS styles for the application. Import app from /app imports the main app component, which serves as the root of your user interface. The app file usually exports a function or component, e.g., export default app winky face. Import report web vitals from /report web vitals imports a function used to measure application performance, optional. Please read the content of index.js. This will guide you in understanding the default content of the file. To see how the app function works, you can observe the app/component. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you gain knowledge about installing React using Node.js and learn some technical terminologies. You can watch or rewind the video if necessary to better understand the introductory discussion about React. Please watch the next video for the basic application of React. Thank you, and have a nice day.